So I started my business from scratch. Sorry, your face. I'm serious. So starting a business from scratch is actually not that difficult. I think what was important was obviously having a good network, having knowledge on what exactly I was going to do before starting the business. And then I literally jumped into the deep end. So I left the company I was working for, Galeti, and I decided that I'm going to start a property company. And that's all I had was the idea of the property company. And going into it, you just go with it. Like, you literally don't know what's going to happen. You learn everything. You do everything yourself. You don't have anyone there to guide you unless there's partners involved. And I think, like I say to most people, is you just have to take that leap and do it, and you learn as you go. Literally, you learn as you go. You obviously need the basis. You need to know what your goal is, what your aim is, what your business is about, what you bring to the table, what service you're going to offer, what your culture is. But once you've done that, everything else that happens along the way is a learning curve. I do think it's important to understand the numbers, like what's going to be involved in your business, what profits do you want to make, what your expenses are going to be. You do need to forecast that and budget for it so that you don't go under. And I think one of the most important things is bringing people on board that have the same vision and dream as you, because it's difficult in the beginning and everyone's doing multiple different jobs within one. Obviously, you're starting with a little bit of capital. You don't have a lot of capital. And you've got someone doing admin, you've got someone doing the admin and the marketing, you've got someone doing the admin, the marketing, and maybe filling out contracts. I know in the beginning I did a lot of that myself as well. Like, I didn't have a specific title. I think the biggest thing for me is I knew from the beginning that I had to make money, so I had to do deals. So that was just me reaching out to my contacts that I had made, the relationships that I had built, and just asking them, telling them what I've started. Listen, I've started my own business. This is what it is. Please, can you support me? Literally, can you give me something to sell? Do you want to buy something? And I just put all my effort and focus into getting those few deals in. And I was actually fortunate enough that early on I did a few big deals, which gave me the capital to grow the business quicker than I expected. I think capital is an important part, but you have to start somewhere. Some people don't have the capital. And in the beginning, I didn't. Like, it was, I had a friend, I worked in her offices. They gave me offices. They did my accounting for me. And I didn't really have expenses. But to take it to the next level, of course, expenses come into play. And yeah, basically my main focus was just doing 1 or 2 deals so that I knew I had a bit of money to carry the business and to employ 1 or 2 more staff that could help out with whatever was needed. But like I say, you know, there wasn't structure like there is now. If I look back at it, we sat in a boardroom. I think it was like an 8-seater boardroom table, and we all sat there. I didn't have an office, I didn't have a desk. I sat at the boardroom with everyone, and we just, I think I was really lucky. I had a good team from the beginning. They had like good energy. They were all willing to learn and work hard and just make it happen, and that definitely plays a big role. When I was starting out, and obviously I had these tasks that I had to complete, whether it's admin, marketing, etc. I was lucky enough that I had my laptop, which I had previously, and I'm not good with any technology. So, I mean, we did it the old school way, like print a document, sign it, write on it, file it. We didn't have any systems in place. It was literally like, go to Postnet, get it printed, take it to the client, get the offer signed, file it. That was it. Social media wise, I actually hired someone to do admin, and everyone played a part, like everyone got involved. I knew what we needed. So we needed to be able to create brochures to offer to the clients. We needed to have some sort of social presence. So we created a Instagram page. And that was it. And so basically my admin lady at the time was doing brochures, 2 of them. So I had 2 admin ladies. And well, the one was a broker plus admin plus a PA, and the other one was like an admin plus marketing plus whatever. And we quickly realized that the one just had a really good eye for brochures, and she like did one brochure, and I'm like, who did this brochure? Like, no, I did the brochure. I was like, okay, you're no longer admin, you're now marketing. And then she became marketing, and she grew from there. We didn't really have tools, we just used the basics. Canva, we definitely had Canva. I used my mom's Canva account because she already had it, and it was an expense obviously, so she gave us hers to use. And then like I say, we printed most of our documents. We had like a cabinet with all our files in it and all our papers in it, and that was it. I don't even we did have Microsoft Office as well, but like we shared. There wasn't the privilege of everyone had their own Microsoft Office. No, it was like a shared thing. I think at one stage I didn't even have it, but I didn't really need it. So why I started with property as a business was, I think I learned from a younger age that you don't really reinvent the wheel, right? And to be honest, it was like I didn't know anything other than property. I studied finance, but I went straight into property from the time I left school. So property was like what I knew, what I did. So it was, for me, it was like a no-brainer. This is what I'm going to do. This is what my business is going to be. People know me in the market now. I've built really good relationships. So now it's just about networking, using those relationships. And I knew what I was doing. I knew how to sell. I had the confidence. I knew that I could put a deal together. I knew that I could make money doing it. I was 100% confident in myself. So that's why property was the main thing. And then obviously as time went on, fast forward 3 years later, I realized that actually just in general, I've got an eye for businesses. I like business. So it's not per se property. Obviously property was my strong suit and it's what I knew. But then just creating businesses, finding the gaps in the market and making them grow is what actually makes me tick. That's what I enjoy. So I think starting a business is challenging in itself. Like, you really don't know what you're getting yourself into until you're in it. And this is what I say to everyone, is like, people come and ask me like, how do I start my business? What do I need to do? And I'm just like, you need to just be in it to really understand like what's really going on. Like a lot of the time I just winged it. Like I didn't know half of the things that I know now. Like I learned as I went. But I remember in the first 2 years we moved our offices 3 times, which is very challenging because there's no stability. You're a new business, you have new employees, and for them, they're already taking a risk, coming into a business that's a startup. How long is it going to be around for? Is there longevity? And then you're moving, like, okay guys, we're no longer here anymore, we have to move. Whatever the circumstances were, we had to move. And then we were at another office for a while. Again, we're in a boardroom, a bit nicer, a bit bigger. And then after like a few months, we had to move again. And that was very challenging in itself because you have people looking at you like you are the business, and like obviously there's doubt created, like why are we moving again, what's going on, is the business going to stay like open, so that was very challenging. Like I had to come to work every day with like a brave face because at that stage it was like very unsettling and we were unsure about what was going to happen. And then money plays a big part as well. I know sometimes there were months and I'd sit with Clint and we would run like our expenses and we were like, how are we going to pay this month for like the expenses? maybe a deal hadn't been paid out, or we didn't have a good month or whatever, and we would like sit till 8 o'clock at night running through numbers and like, what are we gonna do? And it would be like funny at the time because you don't know whether you should laugh or cry or be stressed, so you just like sit there and like, I remember the one time we like lost 50,000 rand, and we sat until about 9 o'clock at night running through these numbers and running through these numbers. Whatever the story was, we found the 50,000 rand. But at that time of your business, like 50,000 rand's a lot of money to lose. Like that can pay your expenses. And then I think as a business owner, it's extremely stressful because you literally have people that rely on you. It's their livelihoods. You're paying them salaries. Like that's a huge stress on its own because you can't tell your staff the next month that, oh, sorry, this month I'm not paying you because we haven't made money. You know, you have to pay them. So there were times in this business where I had to take money out of my savings, you know. Luckily enough, I had savings, but who wants to touch their savings anyway? But you want the business to work, and I think that's what differentiates people from success and not being successful is you've just got to like go through the hard times and make it happen, make a plan. You know, when your back's up against the wall, that's when you really are able to make things work and things do happen for you. It's crazy. Like we had some crazy times and now I look back and I'm like, look at us now. Like we've really just made it through. I mean, I had clients sit in my office stressed, probably on the verge of tears. I've had myself like not sleeping at night, not because of any specific reason, but you just like your mind is in overdrive all the time. Where's the next deal coming from? How are you going to get more clients? How are you going to improve processes? How are you going to get brokers to make more money? How are you going to motivate your brokers? And the list goes on and on and on. So I think, yeah, that's a few of the stressful parts of the business and not having money and just making it work. I was actually speaking to my marketing manager yesterday, and we were driving to a meeting. We were talking about mindset, and I think it's so important to have the right mindset, and people take it for granted. Like you can find yourself in a bad mindset very quickly, and if you don't know how to get out of it, and you don't know how to be mentally strong, life in general is difficult. In your personal life, in your business life, in life. And you literally have to work on yourself every day and wake up and make sure that you know what your focus is. You know that you're building your mind, you're building yourself, you're strong. You are going to have bad days. I think another important thing is not to be too harsh on yourself, which I think often, you naturally fall into that where you judging yourself basically and oh, I could have done this better, or I could have worked harder, or I could have closed another deal, or whatever the case is. And sometimes you just need to like take a break, and let it be. But I think back to that point on mindset, you have to be strong. You have to have a clear goal, a clear mind, and just remember your end goal. Like, what is it? Why are you doing this? A lot of people might think that an entrepreneur does it to make money. Yes, money is great. But for me, changing people's lives, educating other people, mentoring other people, and seeing their growth is like what excites me. And you have to have that long-term vision and that long-term goal and just get back up. I mean, I don't know. That's as simple as it is. Get back up every time and don't give up. So the idea of starting this podcast is really to help people in the same situation or people that are trying to get to where DJ has gotten, or any business or any entrepreneur. I think a lot of successful or driven people maybe don't speak on it enough or educate other people on how to become successful or how to build a business, and also the reality of the downfalls or the tough times or what you're going to go through. And I think it's important to be able to speak on it and be real and allow other people to see that you can start from very little and build yourself up. And I'm going to be there to hopefully give people inspiration and guide them and maybe impart some of my knowledge that I have and help other people see their value, their potential, and grow into whoever they want to be and whatever they believe they can do, they can do. Okay, so who is Michela? I would say someone that's definitely been through a lot. I think a lot of the time people view me or have a perception of who I am, where I've come from. So I came from a good family, I must admit, and I've had parents that have guided me and are business minded. So that definitely played a role in where I am today. I was mentored, I was taught how to save, how to do all the important things. I think I am an entrepreneur, definitely. Possibly at times impulsive, but very driven, very excited about life, always looking for opportunities, always looking for the good in everything. So the next podcast will be based on women breaking barriers within multiple different industries. I think it's mainly just touching points on women entrepreneurs in general. I'll also touch on women entrepreneurs in property. I think it's a very male-dominated industry. There are challenges, definitely, but I'll just be speaking about maybe some of the challenges, a lot of the upside in being a woman within this industry, and hopefully inspire other women to join the industry. I think there's so much potential, especially within property. And there's not enough women that are breaking into this industry and they don't see what the actual potential is. So we'll be touching on that. We'll be touching on how not to be a victim, how to overcome multiple challenges within society as a woman, as an entrepreneur, as someone with goals and visions, and just how to keep a strong mindset and move past any of these challenges that you might face. And someone to call her boss.